This is so fitting. So in this episode of the Focus and Flow vlog, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite verses from the Bible. I've got a lot of favorite verses that talk about like what's going on within us is a precursor to the experiences that we're going to have in life. And so in this episode, it's all about who gets to decide, or who's deciding whether you have abundance and whether you have great opportunities and whether you have a great life and great family and friends. And of course, you and I both know the answer to that is that we get to decide, right? And so I just pulled up and I got this totally sweet parking spot, again, just the way that things work in the universe, right in front of where I needed to be. And it ties in with this video. So I want to share with you a verse from the Bible, which is Matthew 13:12, one of my favorite little verses. And it says this. I wrote it down so I could read it to you exactly as it is. It says, let me start again. I want to make sure this is right. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. Now, the thing that I think about when I read that verse and when I think about that verse is, the question kind of behind it is, who gets to decide whether we have or whether we don't have, right? And let me just take that a little step further, is that you probably know people who have very little, but feel very happy and grateful for what they have, and therefore they have great experience. They have the better feeling about life. And you probably also know people who have a lot, but they often feel, or maybe predominantly feel, like they don't have enough. They're always in kind of a lack state of consciousness. So back to the question of who gets to decide whether we have or whether we don't have enough, that's us. We get to decide. And it all comes back to focus, right? And so as we go through this game of life and we play this game of creating better experiences and like always tuning our experiences up and up and up, it comes back to the question of, what are we focusing on? Are we focusing on all the blessings that we have, all the great things that are going right in our life, or are we focusing on all the things we don't have? Because as you and I both know, where focus goes, energy flows. Tony Robbins gives us that. Lots of people talk about that. And when we want to have better experiences flow into our life, are we focusing on what we're blessed with, or are we focusing on what we don't have yet, or maybe we'll never have? And the reason we want to focus on the things that we have and feel really grateful and appreciative for those things, even if they're very small, even if they're seemingly very small, is that it's going to open the channel for more great experiences to come into our life and for more great circumstances to flow into our lives. Because wherever we focus, that's where our consciousness is going to be, right? And that's what's going to be our predominant vibration. And as we level up our vibration more and more and more and get happier and happier and happier about all the things that we have going right, more things are going to go right. And you've probably experienced this in your own life. So that's what I wanted to share with you in this week's episode, is that we get to decide. And I've heard stories of people who have had very, very little and focused on even the smallest little thing, just a small material object or a small event, and focused and focused and focused and grew that very small, seemingly insignificant thing or circumstances or experience into an amazing life for themselves. And so we all have that opportunity. The thing about it is in the game of life, we can start wherever we're at and ultimately end up with an extraordinary life, an extraordinary family and friends and experiences and business opportunities, all the things that we want. We don't have to be born with a silver spoon in our mouth or have all these red carpet laid out before us. We can arrive to those situations and circumstances simply by choosing to focus on what we have, being grateful and appreciative of what we've got, and it just totally unfolds. So that tells us that we really do have all the power, because we get to decide whether we have abundance or whether we don't have abundance, whether we're blessed, whether we're fortunate. All those things that we all want happens right now in the now moment, which has always been our point of power, right in this now experience. And it was just hilarious when I pulled up and got this totally sweet parking spot as I'm thinking about this. But that's the episode. I hope that's helpful. Again, like, who gets to decide? You get to decide. I get to decide. We get to decide. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Have an awesome week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.